That's working. Good. Does seem to be. That's working. Good. I can hear myself, so it must be. Does seem to be. All That's right, working. guys. Hello. Welcome. Welcome, all of you, to this live stream. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity, Stop the New World Order. Welcome to Panmo TV. And welcome to everyone who is in the live chat. This is a really good collection here. As you can see, I've got 14 people watching already, which is fantastic. I've already shared the link everywhere. I do that beforehand. And behind me, I've got Garbage Force One. You see this old Trumpy in there. Garbage Force One, this famous, one of the most famous dust cart in the world. um, yeah, for those of you who don't know, Trump spent a lot of time on his campaign and working with people, including some dustmen, a team of dustmen, and also he works at McDonald's and things like that. And this was a very important point because I think once something he understands, like he's like the right kind of businessman does. I mean, rumor has it he was like this when he ran his business. That everyone he could meet people, he could encounter people of all levels within the sort of conformist hierarchy with equal favor, because he knew they all played a role. And let's face it, like, I mean, no doubt, there's lots of people like stockbrokers and senior accountants and state governors and Congress people and that, all lining up, kissing his ass and stuff like that, expecting him to do the same for him, expecting him to do the same for them. But let's be honest. If you took those people away, that I've just mentioned, that was the list of people I've just took away, the world would continue to function perfectly normally. We probably wouldn't even notice they were gone. Some might argue it would be better off. But if you took away the dustmen, every city on earth would very quickly become buried under a mountain of its own waste. And Trump understands that. Trump understands that, which is what I like about him. This is one of the things that people like about him. The fact that the dust crew who he's working with really loved him. They thought they got on really well with him, and the people at McDonald's and stuff like that. All right, so where's my put my glasses on? It helps. I'll say hello to everyone in the chat box. I've got a low crowd of them. Red Snapper, do you drink Patron? And I actually said here, only if it's organic. Will you tell my joke? Of course. What was it again? It was on Twitter, wasn't it? You told me it was good actually. It was funny. Where was it? I was in a bookshop and I asked the pink-haired young shop assistant if they had Donald Trump's new book on how to get rid of illegal immigrants. She replied angrily, "Get the hell out of here and don't come back." I said, "Yeah, that's the one. Do you have it in paperback?" There you go, my friend. There you go. There you go. That's Red Snapper's joke. Neil Peel, Paranormal Peep Show. Hello, Neil. How you doing? There's a new. Neil's got a new show out. It's not on his YouTube yet, but it is on Spreaker. See how we are living. Good. Thanks, sweet. See how we're living. The Trump effect is spreading, spreading here already. Not half. I mean, the Trumpian energy is really, really boiling over. Trump will save us all, says Teddy Border Collie. Good evening, and good evening to you too, Teddy. Well, I think that's going too far, but I mean, he symbolizes. He's a symbolic sort of figure at the forefront of this new energy, this new movement, this fight back against the deep state. DJB2. So Greer says disclosure is tomorrow, apparently. Oh, we'll be coming in for that. About 4 hours or so. Ross Coulthard's latest thing. Well, the thing is, Greer and Coulthard are both claiming credit for the same breakthrough, and I'll come on to that. Donald venting some road rage at Ben. Yeah, I guess if he actually was a dustman, I think probably people would be would not stand in his way. No, Less Lives Matter. Is Trump the second coming of Jesus Christ? Some people think he is. I don't personally. Some people think he's the Antichrist. I mean, I was talking to someone the other day who said in their Christian group, there's a lot of discussion about whether he's the beast 666. I thought Trump was the first God Emperor of the Imperium of Man. That was kind of his nickname. It was a bit ironic, but yeah. Hello, Hello, David Splendid Isolation. How are you? Johnny Fettler. Hello. Nice matter. Ben, you shrunk. The detox has done you the world of good. Well, I mean, I don't feel any healthier, but I certainly have lost a lot of weight as a result of it. Hello, Jarl and Zay. How are you? Punch the sky bowl. Yes. That's what Richard D. Hall would say if there was a bowl over his head. Sorry, that's a crude. That's not a very weak joke, that one. Oh, right. And yeah, David says absolutely not. He's not the second coming of Jesus. Hey, Della's back. Hello, Della. How are you? Good to see you back. David, Ben gets to eat again tomorrow. No, Monday. I mean, I'm starting to eat again Monday. I will have a good meal that day. Yes. Oh, dustman kind of angels. Yes, along with hospital porters. Yes. Oh, Della, has Ben been on a health kick? Looking very well, Ben. Well, it's a detox, Della, I've been on. I did a little article explaining about it, but yeah, I've done a detox. Hello, body technician. Hello, Sonara's Ash Tree. Welcome. How are you? Hope you're well. Mwah. No, thanks for joining us. David, as usually, they can buy dustmen from the private sector with enough money. Money can buy you almost anything. There's a lot of the dust rubbish collection service has been contracted out like so many other things, which is a really, really bad idea because the companies they contract. I mean, I'm not against privatization in theory, but in practice, it is in this world, it's a nightmare. Will you be drinking tonight? Said Red Snapper. Yeah, only dragon juice. Only dragon juice. From tomorrow, I'm going on to water only for the final 24 hours. We are here live and kicking. Yes, we are. 11 people follow you, man. Oh, 11. Well, it's gone up to 32 now. It's rising steadily. Stephen Greer is going to be Trump's alien disclosure senator. Oh, I think he should choose Lou Elizondo. Hello, Ralph Winter. Yeah, there's a bit of a fuss on. There's a bit of a rivalry on Twitter between Team Lou and Team Greer about who should be the disclosure czar. I would say Lou. Red Snapper. Do you remember the Never Trumpers? Yeah, they're still around. They're still around. Yes, and they're still making a lot of noise around the place. What's his name? He's going on about it. What's that bloke's name? I'll come to me in a minute. Pat Riot, hello, how are you? Because the Never Trumpers are like, well, the Never Trumpers tend to be like a lot of these sort of dinosaurs from the neoconservative era. You know, people they're very pro-Israel. They're very, bomb everyone they can think of and turn them into Americans and things like this. They're these idiots from the old days of Adam Curtis's Power of Nightmares. Nothing as it seems. I was surprised to find the Conservatives usage in the net zero policies. I'm not nothing. I mean, they're just the trailing edge of Labour, basically, the Conservatives. Red Snapper, do you support the Gays for Trump organisation? Well, I'm neither for or against it because I'm not gay. But if people are for Trump, that's great. I think Milo is the leader of that, isn't he? I think he's given up this pretense he turned straight. Oh, Milo. I mean, Milo will say anything to keep people talking about him, won't he? Della Farron says, I will read your detox article, Ben. I'm always doing that sort of thing. Oh, thanks, Della. I hope you find it interesting. It just gives the instructions of what I'm doing. Because just give you what I've been doing for the last few months. It's more a spiritual thing. It's not really. I'm not really that bothered about my weight. I mean, as long as I'm healthy, and I have been healthy, I'm not that bothered about my weight. I was doing it more for a spiritual reason. It was more kind of affirmation, a spell, if you like. Hello, Corsitis. Are you watching the News Nation egg UFO footage? Well, you know what? It's a little bit late for me because it's 1 a.m. my time. But you know what? I probably will be awake. I probably will. Hello, Roland Keyboard. Bonita. Noswaitha, I think it is now, depending on which time zone you're in. What's the word? Bethlehem Sir Ydych Mewn. Is it Bethlehem Sir Ydych Mewn? Which time zone are you in? Bethlehem Sir, yeah. Gary Jones, has anyone seen the News Nation Ross Coulthart interview yet? We'll be going through a few of those, Gary. But I will be, but I'm not the big one is at 1 a.m. this evening, our time where I am. It depends where you are in the world. It may be a more convenient time for you. It's 8 p.m. US Eastern time. I was going to think, well, God, that's too late for me. But, I'm so uptight. I'm going to be awake for it. I will be awake for it. Hatchy, hello. If he puts his jeans on, we'll send Ben for a retrieval. Hello, lights below. Evening, Ben. Try big TV screen. Oh, on your big TV screen. Because that's good. That's good. You can rig YouTube up to your big TV, can't you? Yeah. We can do that here, apparently, although I don't bother because I hardly ever use the TV. The Coulthart thing is in around 4 hours' time. It is, yes. Hello, David Schultz. Welcome. You're in the right time zone for that. It's 8 p.m. where you are, I think. Della Farrell. Love your cardigan, Ben. It really suits you. Thanks, Della. It's not quite a cardigan because the buttons stop there. It's actually, it used to be obvious, but it's actually very loose on me now because I was given this by one of my clients, actually, a lady I work for who I think she's adopted me, really, this old lady I work for. It's almost down to my knees. I mean, it was like extra large one, which I need normally, but because of my detox, it's hanging off me. Roland says, do you really think there's going to be any real disclosure ever? Yes. And I think it's more likely to happen now than ever. Bernie Tucker. Good evening. Sorry I'm late. It's only 12 minutes, mate. Don't worry. Davis Bendelation. Stephen Greer and co are Pepsi. Elizondo are Coca-Cola. They'll never cooperate. Yeah, I mean, I'll say that this sort of rivalry between the two men is sort of spilling over into the Twitter space now. And it's getting ridiculous. I mean, I'll say more about this, but it's obvious. It was obvious from the moment Greer released Battle for Disclosure. He released it at the same time as James Fox's program. He had that knees up in the press club just a couple of weeks before the big hearing just down the road in Congress. I mean, it's clear he's trying to say it's like a retaliatory strike. Anything you can do, I can do better. Hello, Observer. How are you? Boris Johnson's father Stanley is a mass eco nutter. Well, yeah, he had his book somewhere because he wrote a book, didn't he? Yeah, it's kind of like a book about doomsday. I never read it, but this time next week we'll be none the wiser. I reckon we will. I reckon we are literally on the brink of the most important historical turning point that I can think of in history, and that's no exaggeration to say that. A lot of you are going to disagree with me on that, but I think it is. Hello, Green Tea. Red Snapper. Will Trump pardon the Capitol Hill prisoners? Nah, that's funny. Funny you should say that because someone's just said something about that. Someone just said that's like a litmus test. Where was it? It said it was a litmus test. I put it on. It was on my Twitter. I actually liked it. Where is it? Oh, bloody hell. Where was it? I was just looking at it. Oh, someone just said that's a litmus. Oh, I know what it was. It was that guy. What's his name? It's on my history. I'll be going through that in a minute. Because that is going to be very important. I mean, he should have done it the first time round, but I think, it's... And David says, it's literally impossible to keep it a secret indefinitely, so yes, there will be disclosure. I agree, David. And what's more, this is where that Robert Groves got wrong. That Robert Graves, that Oxford guy. I had an email conversation with him because he didn't take into account, everything. But even he, there is a limit, I think, especially now. It's for some reason. I mean, it could have been 20 years ago, 30 years ago. If we were in this situation, I'd have said, yeah, there's no chance. But things have changed. Things have really changed. It could be to do with the age of Aquarius. It could be to do with the Mayan calendar changing over. It could be to do with all these other things. You know, this is the year where the Kali Yuga ends in the Hindu calendar. I don't have time to go into that in detail, but I will cover that in detail in the future. But the great turning of the ages, which is extremely long. The Indians have a massively long kind of calendrical system. It's even longer than the Mayan one. It goes through literally trillions of years, cycles of literally trillions of years, longer than the universe is thought to have existed. And the Kali Yuga, which we've been in, I think, for around 4,000 years or so, is going to end this year. We don't know the exact date. It's not like the Mayan calendar, but in 2025, yeah. Nexus did an article about it. Make black goo great again. Black goo has always been great. I can't, Red Snapper, I can't say that on YouTube. I'm sorry. We'll see how we're living. Is the News Nation thing available on YouTube? I bloody hope so, because it was really annoying, because I think they do now stream these things on YouTube, because you can't get News Nation live in this country. And if I'm going to stay up to 1 o'clock to watch it, I want it to be on YouTube. Hello, Nihilist Lives Matter. How are you doing? Just saying you're on time, yeah. We live in incredibly interesting times. Yes, yeah, we live in interesting times. It's a bloody good name for a newspaper, I think, actually. David, I believe Trump will pardon the Jan 6ers. I hope so. I'd like to see, because, Jacob Chansley, the Q shaman, he's sort of like really fallen out with Trump. And I think he might make up with him if that happens. Roland says, it's tantalizing, but we've been almost there many times. Mr. Bassett, 2011, every year subsequently. Or try 2009, Roland. That's when I first heard him say that. Trump seems like he's going to spill the beans, but I become a hardened skeptic. I think things have changed since then, Roland. I really do. Yeah, I think he will, David. He'll pardon the Jan 6ers. He said he put Hillary Clinton in jail last time. That never happened. Yeah. I'm disappointed Trump had a 3-hour sit down with Gates, and even though we don't know the contents, Gates was sure happy about it. Well, I'm not so sure that's the case. The TikTok ban. Do you agree with it? We're coming on to that, yeah. I've just done a TikTok video all about that, by the way. Truthful out. I hope we get disclosure. We've never had such Sky events as we had in the last few months. Yeah, about the drones, so-called. That's a big thing about it. Yeah, DJ. He's had 2 assassination attempts on him, Trump. So this is David talking to DJ. And he's been convicted. He's now a convicted felon. That's never happened before. I think the reason they did that was because they're basically trying to set him up for a future impeachment, which hopefully will not work. Yeah, oh my God. Trump is going to tell us about the drones. He said that, yeah. He'll pardon most of the January 6th, but there's a minority of wrong uns. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, it was a guided tour. Observer. Indian cunnilingus is interesting, is it? Well, I don't want to go into that tonight. This is the wrong thing for that. But I'd love to say more about the January 6ers. I'd love to say more about the, you know what. I mean, I was toying with the idea of doing this video on Alt Tech, but I'm not. But there were things I want to talk about tonight. But I will be doing a Freedom Day, which I think Monday's going to end up being called Freedom Day, 20th of January, which is also the birthday of my first daughter who died, which is quite poignant. Yeah. No, it says, I remember Lammy leaving the Trump meeting happy. David Lammy, is he going to, as Kemi Badenoch said, is he going to apologise? Because he sent this really congratulatory message to Trump. This is just after calling him a KKK member. Red Snapper, will the end of the Kali Yuga usher in a new golden age? Yes, it's called I keep getting this wrong and I keep getting corrected. The Satya Yuga. I think it's also been called other things. The Arya Yuga, which means age of nobility. But it means basically yes. There's like a transitional period and then a golden age. Yeah. Definitely. NASA postponed the flight to the moon again. Oh, what's Kel surprise? Observer, what will Trump do in the next 4 years? Well, he's going to spend a lot of time watching his back, and I'll go into that actually, because Trump has just arrived in the belly of the beast. There's been no news stories about it, but I think it's likely he's here now. because he's supposed to be hosting an event in. Let's have a look. I've got this. I've got the world clock on Washington time. I'll just show you. I'm keeping this open all the time. It's now 4:20 in the afternoon, Washington time. The sun sets at quarter past. Sunset 17:30. Just before 5:15. So it must be already twilight there. I know he's hosting a fireworks party at the Sterling Golf Club, which is the Trump Golf Club in Sterling. Sterling is just outside DC. We'll go through Trump's schedule for this weekend because it all kicks off here, basically. David, has Hamas freed the Jewish hostage yet? Now, that's interesting you bring this up because I want to go into the ceasefire thing as well. But we'll start with... I've got to just show you something here because I'm going to be breaching copyright. Well, I've got to show you this. This is my copyright notice. The material from Vetted, Alex Jones, Ross Coulthard, Dr. Stephen Greer, News Nation, and other screenshots and stills are reproduced in accordance with the Fair Use Guidelines of the Copyright Designs and Patents Act of 1988 and Section 17 of the USC 107 for the purposes of private study or research. 2, for the purposes of criticism review. 3, free distribution, not for profit. Yeah. If you ever see ads on my videos, it's because they've had third-party strikes. My channel is not monetized. Okay, so let's go through your notice comments because I've already deleted the show notice, but some comments were posted on there, and some comments were posted on the on this particular live stream comment section before. Then they were all deleted, as often happens. Red Snapper says, "Will Trump have a heart attack?" And now, I don't want to jinx it, but I'm praying for his safety. I really am. Because there's all kinds of things they could do to him. And I mean, Observe says Trump will be inside. And he also says he says it's because the weather's cold, but I wonder if there's another reason, I replied. Yeah. Phuket says, hi, Ben and all. Phuket says, is Trump the most irksome man this side of Mr. H? You know who I'm talking about. The guy with the Stephen Greenstreet haircut. Irksome. I don't know if he's only irksome to bad people. Yeah. On the live stream notice, which I've now deleted, Wayne Model Builder says, hoping to see a video from you Saturday night, as apparently a genuine UFO video is being released with many witnesses. You probably know more than me. I think News Nation is releasing the information. Yes, I'm going to talk about that, Wayne Model Builder. I will. This tomorrow could be Disclosure Day, or sometime soon could be Disclosure Day. And Orange says here, breaking news, Trump will be inside. You put the comma in the wrong place. This sounds a bit rude. Trump will be inside Melania for the inauguration due to cold weather. I think you should put the comma somewhere else because that's it could be misinterpreted. And Teddy Bear Leem says Trump is full of it. Full of what? If you mean bravery and courage and decency, yes, he is. He's someone I admire. I don't idolize the man, but I do respect him. Oh, see how Living says. The Don Jr. show is excellent. Thanks for the alert. You're welcome. That was really good. I thought Coulthard was more interesting than Elizondo, but they were both interesting. Right, here we go. Read your Twitter post, says Red Snapper. Moving the inauguration inside. What's it mean? Oh, we'll see. We'll soon see. Trump is set to speak at Davos soon. Only to give him hell. GJ. I mean, I'm praying, David. I don't pray as often as you do, but I'm praying for his safety. Let's go through my Twitter feed because there's some interesting things on here. Okay. Gary McKinnon. Oh, Gary McKinnon. What's this?
Yeah, this is... Hi, I'm Gary McKinnon, also known as the UFO hacker. Apparently some people think these videos might be a deep fake.
No, that's him, I think.
I'm sure there's a way to prove that. I just haven't thought about it yet. Yeah, this is my real Twitter account, and I'm glad to be back. I'll be, as and when I can, posting some exclusive content just to X. Can't get used to calling Twitter X. Obviously regarding UAP, UFOs, perhaps the strange drone phenomena that's been happening. And yeah, glad to be back. Thanks.
Hey, you know what it is? His probation must be up. I'll put. I already liked it earlier, but I'll put here. Welcome back, Gary. I'll put here. Oh, welcome back, Gary. What a hero. Welcome back, Gary. There you go. He's back online because his probation must be up. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Anyway, let's have a look. Let's go through what I've been posting. Not that we're keeping track of anything, but conspiracy theories are up 37-0. And then I'll go to my replies because Red Snapper said, what did he say? He said something funny. Where was it? He said, not necessarily. Flat Earth, Lewis Hamilton, Barack Obama's son, Nazi high command, male transgenders, the normies could claim we're out in front. I said, we need a Stewart's inquiry. And then, yeah, Red Snap has been speculating on what might happen in DC this weekend. And that worries me too. And I says, I'm praying, God forbid, I'm praying for his safety. Yeah. Oh, post-disclosure world, Ryan, he's doing a live stream straight after the News Nation thing, which I don't know if I'll be up for that. If I can stay, I said if I can stay up that late, time zones. Fox Mulder's goals is a friend of mine actually. I wish I can't read this out. I'm afraid, because what I'll do is I'll read it out on the Freedom Day live stream on Tuesday. If all goes well, I will be doing a live stream on Tuesday called Freedom Day. I hope I won't be giving it another title. And I said, yeah, I thought as much. He's heading for the belly of the beast. I'm praying for his safety. And then Duncan, he says he'll be well looked after. And I can't say that, I'm afraid, Duncan, but thank you very much for that. But I can't read this out, I'm afraid. You can see it anyway. What are we on doing now? All right. I made a joke about Jay Anderson here. He says, what's your opinion of Dr.
On May 9th,
Stephen Green, his contribution to UFOs, disclosure of the decades? I put that as a joke. What's next? All right, this is that's the thing with John Jr. and I posted that as well. Oh, this is this Iranian fast walkers. It's engaged by Iranian ground batteries. Yeah, I won't play it, but it reminds me of the Battle of Los Angeles of 1942. It's very like that. I suppose that's what the Americans are calling drones. I should also point out Lieutenant Parvez Jafari, Iranian fighter pilot, engaged a UFO in 1976 above Tehran. It was called the Tehran incident. It was very like the Milton Torres event because he got very close to it, and he was like he had a firing solution on his targeting computer, and then the whole thing just crashed. The computer just crashed, just like Milton Torres did. Obviously, this was a more sophisticated computer because this was the 70s, whereas Milton Torres, it was like 1957, but still very similar.
What's this? People go on Ancestry.com. Why would you
I won't go into that tonight. This is the whistleblower. All right. Okay. MTG says her flight to DC was redirected due to unauthorized drone activity over the White House. Oh, God. That's worrying, isn't it? Because what are these drones? Are they there because of what's happening on Monday? I like it. Ross Coulthart, fuck him. I'll show you something else with Ross Coulthart meme in a minute. Oh, this is funny. Look, I love disclosure memes. He's very funny. Claims by UFO whistleblower. That's that guy. I'll show you him in a minute. About a metallic sphere that just turned out to be Greer's ego. And I says, but it's only the size of a basketball. Shouldn't it be an awful lot bigger? And he liked it. Oh, Darcy Weir's been banned. Oh, yeah, that's right. And I actually replied it, and I just said, I stuck up for him. I says, look, why is he banned Darcy? Oh, why? He's a pretty quiet, harmless guy and a really good filmmaker, and he is. As you know, I met him, as someone asked if I met him, and I said, yes. I met, he was actually in my Ben in the Desert video, yeah, as Red Snapper says here. Where are we now? Okay. Oh, this is Jordan Crowder. He does a good YouTube channel. This. Shall I watch
According
this?
to Stephen Greer. Hey friends, so are we only a few days away from one of the biggest UFO disclosures in the history of humanity? Well, according to Stephen Greer, yes. I've had tons of people ask me my opinion.
Now, you may wonder, why am I talking about this? Why am I talking about this when this is supposed to be about Trump's inauguration? Well, this is connected. You see, this is only happening because of Trump, I think. I'll go. I won't play this one. I'll go into another. There's something a bit more concise, I'd say. Oh, finally, Donald Trump news. If Trump isn't Hitler, then I'm a moron. Agreed. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go to my likes now, because I've got some things to show you in my likes. Here we go. Look at the aliens behind Trump there. That's Jason. I don't know what to make of this guy. This guy's a little bit dubious, but I still follow him. The aliens there behind Trump. Right. This is the good Trump. This is Matt Ford. Yes. I haven't watched all of this yet. It's Leslie Kane. Oh, this is, yeah, Jeremy Corbell's got a new documentary out. I can't watch it because it's not available. I'm trying to find ways of looking for, see if it proliferates somewhere. But what's this is, apparently he says all kinds of things in this. I'll come on to that later, maybe. All right, here we go. All right, Michael Shermer has said, this is very interesting. I got involved in a bit of a debate here. Michael Shermer says, yeah, do you remember me talking about Michael Shermer on a previous video, how he was sort of on the turn? I said, yes, because the greatest discovery in the history of science and civilization, extraterrestrial intelligence, will be announced not by the government or scientific institutions and journals, nor by scientists or politicians who would know, but on News Nation. And Matt Ford says here, Michael, you are part of the machine that stigmatizes this entire topic, and we have the receipts. Well, I said here, as you know, I won't go into detail, but I said in my previous video, he was, emphasis on was. I think we should support Michael. Both sides make converts from the other in this debate. People do not choose their beliefs or how they change them. The skeptic community is not going to take kindly to such a high-level defection. They can be spiteful and vengeful. And by that I mean we should work to support Michael Shermer, protect him when the skeptics turn on him, because they will. They will. This is the bloke who saw what's his name? I can't remember his name. He's the guy who saw the basketball sized sphere in which is this? Right, where are we now? I want to just show you this is Corbell's new thing. This is good. We go live to the current whistleblower situation, potentially. Yeah, burst dam. I just want to show you something funny now. Oh wait, this is the funny one. Look, this is hilarious. Let me show you this.
What the fuck is that UFO Barry? What the fuck is that UFO Barry? What the fuck are you talking about?
It's a Chupacabra.
Are you Deep State Ross? It's News Nation, a psyop Ross. Egg shape UFO. Now you're talking. Told her I didn't do blow. Now she walking. Ross. What the fuck is that UFO Barry? What the fuck are you talking about? Ross. Are you Deep State Ross? It's News Nation, a psyop Ross.
That's good, isn't it? That's good. That's brilliant stuff. Yeah. I can't answer all your comments anyway. I want to welcome people who've joined the chat since we started here. Williamism's here. Hello, William. How you doing? Welcome, Williamism. And freedom. Yes, Freedom Day is coming. Freedom Day is coming. By the way, I'm sorry if some of your comments are disappearing. I don't know why that is. Copy them into a notepad, I think. Okay, guys, so what's next? That's my Twitter feed done. Right, this is weird. This is quite something, isn't it? Right. Let's just check if there's anything in the news. I'm just going to update the news about because at some point he's probably in DC now. He's probably already landed. I wonder if let's just see. to see if anyone's recorded him arriving in Washington, D.C. Trump landed in D.C. Trump landed in D.C. Let's have a look. Right, here we go. Right. Oh, no, that's from 2 months ago. No, there's nothing about Trump landing. But it may be on the news. I mean, they won't obviously for this security is going to be so tight. They will not talk about exactly where he's going to be at what time. And I mean, I'm sure he's aware of this because security is a huge concern. Is a huge concern actually for me and for many people. I've been going through like comments and things like that underneath various. I've been going through comments and stuff like that, and I swear, I'll tell you, I'm worried about what could happen this weekend because it's literally he's just entered the belly of the beast. To be honest, I mean, it's not just this weekend; it's the next 4 bloody years. But it's just I want him to be okay. I want him to be okay for the inauguration. I want him to be inaugurated. I think it's so important he's inaugurated. Right. Right. Now, is it a coincidence? I don't think it is. That's a rhetorical question. That the very same moment. Do you remember me? Do you remember the videos I did about Israel in the Gaza situation? And I said at some point, it's going to wind down, and someone at some point, and all you have to do is if the political situation shifts, and for example, funding is cut off or there's new deals done because both sides in this war have been funded by foreign powers. Someone is going to suggest at some point, this 2-state solution might work after all. And we have here, amazingly, when all the political pundits were suggesting this wasn't possible, a ceasefire deal. Yeah, but it's not a done deal yet. Netanyahu says Israel reserves the right to resume war and calls for a first phase. Right. Well, seeing as he's the guy who started it, as you know, I went through Efrat Henriksen and what she's been saying about the very suspicious way that the most secure border on Earth was penetrated by some bulldozers and guys on paragliders. Seeing as he started the damn war, he should know. Benjamin Netanyahu says that Israel reserves the right to resume fighting Hamas if needed should further negotiations collapse. It's not a done deal yet, no. The first phase of the ceasefire is due to start 6:30 GMT on Sunday. Before the speech, Netanyahu warned Israel will not move forward until it receives the names of the first 3 hostages due to be released tomorrow. The mediator Egypt says Israel will release 1,890 Palestinian prisoners in exchange for 33 Israeli hostages in the first phase of the ceasefire. And then, of course, Hamas attacked Israel on October the 7th, killing 1,200 people and taking 251 hostages back to Gaza, which, of course, as you know, my opinion on Netanyahu's involvement in that is suspicious, to say the least. The attack triggered a massive Israeli offensive on Gaza, during which more than 46,800 Palestinians have been killed, according to the Hamas-run Health Ministry. And then we have here, this is a family waiting for their hostages. Some of them have been released already. And this person says, I hope now we have a deal and we can go back on with our lives. That's their loved one there. Gal Alakai joining demonstrators here. That must be the person, maybe her husband or brother, who is stuck behind enemy lines and has been for God knows how long now. What was it, 16 months or so? Netanyahu is at odds with Biden. I bet he is, yes, but he's not. He's not at odds with Trump. I think he now realizes he can't beat Trump. He cannot beat Trump. Supporters of the ceasefire. These people have been begging for a ceasefire for years because they know, Netanyahu is not a hero in Israel. He's very unpopular with the Israeli people. Let it be. All hostages will be free. 933, the 94 hostages. There's more pictures of people. There's a little baby and everything. There's another person here, a hostage. And I'm not going to listen to that tosser. Gaza families wait for news on prisoner releases. These are the loved ones of the various people imprisoned by the Israelis. Family members of another prisoner gather to wait for news. In Deir al-Balah, relatives of a prisoner. Maya Tusi covered that. I'm not going to talk about that. That's in London. Oh, fuck off, Lammy, you tosser. UN calls for unfettered, safe access to Gaza. Yeah, the border been shut with Israel? These are aid trucks that have been queuing for God knows how long, trying to get into Gaza. Israel's still bombing, even though they Palestinians failed by world leaders. Médecins Sans Frontières. I mean, there are a few people I trust in these situations. This is some kids in Gaza there who've been, after 15 months of death and suffering, for almost 2 million Palestinians in Gaza, homelessness and hungry. Yeah, they've all had to leave their homes and cluster around the border with Egypt, haven't they? And that's because they've been so short of food because of the aid trucks not getting through. Oh, it's so sad. I feel so sad for both sides in this. The Mayan Center was killed. Mayan, she was killed in the attack. Bilal was displaced to Khan Yunis with his brothers from Rafah in the hopes of returning home following the ceasefire deal. I hope so, but will their houses still be standing? But I mean, why has this happened now? It's just something to think about. I mean, it's astonishing when you think about it, that this, literally a few days ago, it seemed like this would never end. It would only end as the most extreme elements on both sides in this conflict. As I discussed with Ren Michaelis, the extreme elements on both sides who were very influential in the governments of both the Palestinian Authority and the Knesset, the Israeli government, has said this will end when the other side is basically annihilated and wiped off the face of the earth. And you may say these are very extreme elements of both sides, but these extremists on both sides were very influential with their respective authorities. And I thought this is never going to end unless one of them, God forbid, achieves their goal. And now suddenly they're saying, oh no, maybe we can have a ceasefire after all. Literally just days, just over, it's now, what is it now? Less than 48 hours before the new day of freedom, the new era of freedom begins. And people are saying this is, and is anyone going to pretend this is just a coincidence? Is anyone going to pretend that the new Trumpian era is not a part of this? And I know the backslappers are all going, Ben, Trump is just another insider, and you're naive, and you're taken in by shills, and only we can see it because we're so superior to you. Oh, you idolize Trump. You think he's your God, but I'm the only God. We backslappers are the only gods here because we're the only people who knows what's going on, man. And we know that we're all doomed because everyone's a shill, man. And we're so superior because we can face it. Well, fuck the backslappers. Fuck you, backslappers. Right. I'm just going to take a little break. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you something. I'll play you a bit of this because this is vetted. Now, again, I'm claiming fair use on this because I need to take a break, go to the bog. I claim fair. I don't think Patrick's going to mind because, because
Amy Corbell's new show, UFO Revolution, is streaming now on Tubi.
I'm just going to play you a bit of this while I go to the toilet. All right, so you're not bored while I go to the toilet. Okay, my friends. Here we go. I'll put you on full screen so you can see it properly.
For free, just released its final episode. There's 3 episodes in season 2. And in this episode, near the end, there's a particular clip of Jeremy talking about something that I found to be quite important. And to be honest with you, I guess I'm being a little dramatic myself, and I don't mean to, but this is an important clip I'm about to play for you. And it's important for you to see it. It's important for you to remember it. Probably of all the clips you're going to see for a while, in my opinion, because it's a warning. And I honestly appreciate Jeremy saying this, because there's a lie that has been told in this community for a long time, and it's probably going to continue to be told. And I'm glad Jeremy called it out. And it's quite profound. And the implications of it are terrifying. And it's been told to scare people and make people do things they otherwise wouldn't do because, well, they think the end is near. So watch this clip, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
Your government now wants you to know one truth, and that truth is that UFOs are real. They've already done told you. Sometimes when you want somebody to know a truth, it's so you can set them up to believe a lie, and that's coming. I have zero doubt that lie is coming.
What is the lie?
Specifically, you want me to say it right now, for real? Real? On camera? To be put in the show?
Yes.
Okay. Problem with that. If we tell the lie before it's told, they can adapt. That wouldn't be wise. I'll tell you privately, but I would really think about if you want to put this in your show. For real. That's a real thing I'm telling you. So will you think about it before putting it in your show? Okay. So UFOs are real, and they've been here a long time, and that's the truth. But the lie is coming. All indications, like all of them, is that that lie is going to be that there is a craft slowly making its way to us here on Earth. And that is the lie they're going to want you to believe.
I've heard this
It's
before. Haven't
nuanced. How they
You've heard this before about the crafts coming to Earth. Do you remember the thing that's changing course and coming towards us? It's the plot of Three Body Problem, though. Do you know if that's? By the way, I've read The Dark Forest, which is the second installment in the trilogy, and it wasn't very good. I'm not going to bother reading the last one of the trilogy.
explain that, the nature of that threat. But that 100% is the lie you are going to be told.
Stop! God, he's so foul-mouthed. He really is.
You even got a date. People been whispering a date for a long time now. I know where that lie comes from.
Dragon juice, more dragon juice.
I know specifically what document from the 70s initiated the idea of that lie. A classified document. That is the lie you will be told. You're going to be told that there is a craft on its way to Earth. That's the lie. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I sent you 2 texts today with a year. Not from me. Nope. I'm not going to propagate that lie. Not going to be part of it. Not going to say it to the camera. Everybody knows. Just start paying attention. And they'll change the date, especially if they see this. Things will change. Because maybe I'm trustworthy. Maybe I'm worthy of your trust. Maybe I've told you the truth the whole way through it. Now you can verify it. If that's the case, then I'm fucking dangerous. You've been told the truth about UFOs for a long time. It's been pretty orchestrated. It's been pretty clear. And it's using people that are telling the truth and want to tell the truth. Ultimately, they want you to know something. They want you to know UFOs are real. Thank God we're finally there. We're all there now. They want you to know the truth. But why they want you to know that truth now? Hope I'm wrong. but it's terrifying. Think about it. Maybe it's good to get ahead of it. Call it out now before they do it. I'll be called crazy. That's okay.
Now, I've never really said this in any video. In fact, I can't think of one video where I've ever said this. Now, we'll do it with a lot of my videos, but I've never really requested it, and that is share this video, please, vetters. I'm asking y'all to activate here as much as I can. Call to action. Please share this video.
I think it's enough. Yeah. I'm not sure what to make of that actually. But anyway, I just want to say big hello to new people. Here's Stan Smith. Ben is having a huge dump. You've been spying on me, Stan? All right, how you doing, guys? All right. I'll come on to the UFO issue in more detail now. I'd just like to say, just as see how we live in Ashton hates Corbell. He did. Ashton tweeted some really horrible stuff about Corbell. Where was it? Ashton said Ashton said here. Where is it? It's somewhere along here. I can't find it now, but anyway, he was having a. Here we go. He says here, this reaction seems disproportionate. This is on Corbell's video clip. The dude is acting like he got cheated on. Nancy Mace removed a cover page with your name on it. Chill, bro. Is that really what it's all about then? Anyway, Observer, Trump has boarded Air Force One already. How do you know, Observer? Because he's supposed to be holding a fireworks party this evening. Is it Air Force One? Because that's supposed to be for the president. Is he now using it as the president-elect? Twitter, right? Where's that? Hang on. Bloody hell. I'll just do Air Force One. See what it says here. "15 minutes ago." Yes. Oh, you're right. He's on his way. How long's my Florida? He's on his way. I assumed he'd be flying in his own plane, Trump Force One, as they call it, which is one of his on his own airline. But presumably presumably then, Barron, Melania's going with him and Barron. Yeah. Well, presumably that means that it's still light there, though. What's the time? That's all. Hang on. What's the time in? Is that really? What time of day is that? Because it is now. Well, it's 5 to 5, so it's almost sunset New York time, or Eastern Standard Time. It's almost sunset in Washington, but I mean Florida's much further south, so maybe the sunsets. Yeah, the sun will actually set later because it's further south. Wow, he's on his way. If that was 17 minutes ago, it's probably taken off. Let's go to Flight Radar. It won't be on there, I don't think. I don't think Air Force One, because it's technically a military jet. It's technically a military jet. It won't be on there. It's worth having a look, though. Most military aircraft are not listed on Flight Radar. Oh, you sometimes see the... What's this? Flight no, go away. So where is it now? Where's Air Force One? How can I find? Can I find it, do you think? Probably this is going to crash because so many people are following him. Air Force One. No matches found. Oh, there you go. But it's going to be somewhere in Florida here. It'll probably fly out to sea, I'm guessing. Oh, this could take ages, man. This could take it forever. No, it's not going to be. It won't be on here. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I'll go to Truth. Hang on. I'll go to Truth Social because I'll better close that because I don't want you to see everything on here. Has he truthed anything? I don't know if you remember you were on. Any of you are on. Are any of you on Truth Social? It's what Truth Social is his own social media. It's Trump's own social media. Let's have a look. Air Force, because One. Truths. Oh, here we go. Look, this is from 4 days ago. Trump Force One. Oh, right, that's his own plane. His own plane. Here we go. What's this? Back on Air Force One 10 minutes ago. There we go. I'll retruth that. Yeah, there they are. They're boarding Air Force One. So obviously they're allowed to use Air Force One, even though it's the president's jet, because he's the president-elect. Oh, God. Yeah, white dudes for Harris. Yeah. As Trump joked, he says, those white dudes for Harris, their wives and girlfriends will be voting for me. So he's on his way. He's on his way. How long does it take to fly from Florida to where's Mar-a-Lago then? Let's have a look how close Mar-a-Lago is. It'd probably be like the closest airport to Mar-a-Lago. It's somewhere near Miami, isn't it? Hang on, where's Mar-a-Lago? Palm Beach. Okay, so I'll just Google how long does it take to fly from Palm Beach to Washington, D.C., from West Palm Beach to Washington, D.C.? 2 hours, 30 minutes. I mean, he's going to be well. He's going to be well. Yep, he's going to be well. I think he's going to be well looked after. I mean, it's got like flares and things in. It's got like countermeasures and things on it, and he'll have a jet fighter escort and things like that. God, keep him safe. Keep him safe. I assumed he'd be there already because he's hosting a fireworks party in a couple of hours. Okay, guys. So my last word. I just want to just go back to the Israel-Hamas thing, the whole ceasefire thing. Then we'll go full UFO. Let's go just check the live here.
Officers being allowed to be involved in the return of displaced people back to their homes.
That's enough of that. If you think if just consider that what happened the 4 years Trump was in before, between 2017 and 2020, were an era of unprecedented peace for the whole world, and it was very much down to his diplomatic skills. You remember him crossing the border with North Korea, shaking Kim Jong-un's hands. The fact that the Koreas united to form a joint Winter Olympics team. Do you think he can't sort out Israel and the Middle East? I reckon once you've got to realize about wars like the ones going on around these ethnic conflicts that go on around the world. I know that a lot of people say, well, it just happens because of ancient conflicts and things like that, and it's inevitable that people start fighting each other over territory and things like that. But then how come it's always necessary? So much money and so much effort and so much propaganda is needed to keep these wars going. What if Trump finds a way, just simply through breaking that cycle, breaking through that constant effort to keep these wars going? Maybe that's all that's necessary for them to find some kind of deal. What do you reckon? All right, guys, what's next on the agenda? I won't do these things in order. I'll just right. Gaza ceasefire I've done. Twitter feed I've done. Garbage Force 1 I've done. That's all done. Just checking I'm covering all everything in my notes. Yeah, the TikTok ban, right? This is odd. I've just done a TikTok video about that, actually. I copied it to my Facebook group, which is interesting videos public, because TikTok apparently is going dark in the United States tomorrow. This is apparently because of you can watch the video to find out more about it. This is apparently because of they're terrified of the Chinese government is using it to spy. But the Biden has said he's going to leave it up to Trump to enforce this, even though they're shutting the whole thing down tomorrow. I suspect Trump will not enforce a nationwide ban. What he will do instead is he will say to TikTok, he will say that it must remain unavailable on all government websites. But he won't. I don't think he's going to enforce a nationwide ban of TikTok. I don't think he will. I suspect obviously the real reason. Whenever internet censorship comes about, I always think it's to do with they're scared of what people are saying. And I mean, I don't know if that's a fact, but I think that's the reason they're doing it. Okay, let's cover the anti-Trump protest. Now, this is called the People's March, right? This is a little bit. I think that's a bit sexist because it's no longer called the Women's March. Next, these people will be saying that all lives matter. Thousands have gathered in Washington, D.C. to protest against the incoming Trump administration. Several groups are gathering under a banner of different issues, although organizers say they're unified in confronting Trumpism. Meanwhile, all right, this is the inauguration. Trump is due to arrive. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so let's see what this disgusting white male, John Sudworth of the BBC, says about the People's March.
The march, as you can see, has now reached the mile. It's not massive, a few thousand people. And this is a broad coalition of groups representing a wide range of issues. Some of the banners I can see, hate won't make America great. We will not be silent. Few people can doubt that this is now a deeply divided country on the brink of radical change. Radical change, of course, is what Donald Trump was elected promising. It's why many of his supporters voted for him, and they will be hoping that this time around he is far more prepared to push that agenda through. But for these protesters, however, that is precisely what they fear.
Right, let's have a look. Oh, the Trump merch out already. And this is just thousands of people take to this. Let's have a look. This is a rapper, a musical guest slated to ring in Donald Trump's return. Oh my goodness me. Nelly, his name is. He's going to perform at the Liberty inauguration ball. All right. Oh, this is Donald Trump's new official portrait. All right. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, because look at this. It's like his mugshot, isn't it? The official portraits of President-elect Donald Trump and his second-in-command, J.D. Vance, have been released. There's Vance here. Vance is a good guy, I think. He's and it says here. Now this is his mugshot here, and that's his first portrait where he's smiling. But this is a lot more. It's got him in kind of like. It's got like he's almost like. It's like Blair Witch Project look, isn't it? He's looking like that. They're wearing blue suits, white-collared shirts. Trump expressions contrast with Vance. Vance smiles at the camera, arms crossed, a more relaxed pose. This is, yeah, it's been drawn comparisons by his attempt by his Fulton County Jail photo. Yes, that's on all the posters. That one, isn't it? Trump may be embracing a defiant image, transforming a moment of legal adversity into a symbol of resistance and strength. Yeah. That's emphasizing a tougher, more combative stance. Yes, definitely. More combative. I think so, yes. I think that's fair enough. He does need to be more combative. Let's go back to the People's March. I'm just doing this for laughs, really. What's it? I'll read some of these banners here. Trust black women. Oh, God, abortion. They're pro. They're supposedly pro. All right, we'll go. This is the. We'll go into this particular schedule later because there's a lot coming on. I'll go into that later, but yeah, he's got to get there for the fireworks show. The cabinet dinner has been hosted by President-elect J.D. Vance. Now, you may have noticed, and I think there's a reason for this. Trump and Vance are not going to be. You won't see Trump and Vance in the same room now until Monday morning, the inauguration, because I think they know that they realise the danger that's going on here. We have here. Vance is holding an evening reception for the incoming cabinet members and host a dinner in Washington, D.C. The president-elect will then host a reception at his golf club in Sterling, Virginia. That's just outside Washington. And we'll end in a fireworks show. That's this evening. Trump is now in the air on his way. And then tomorrow morning, Trump will spend Sunday morning participating at a wreath-laying ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier at Arlington National Cemetery. This is when I think he's going to be in the most danger. And maybe this time, Sunday afternoon, he will convene at the Capital One Arena in downtown Washington, D.C. with speakers like Elon Musk, Hulk Hogan, and the US actor Jon Voight. Jon Voight, if you remember my last video, he played Eddie in The Five People You Meet in Heaven. It's the same venue where people had hoped to attend the inauguration outside the Capitol will instead gather on Monday to watch the proceedings. Yeah, we'll talk about that because it's going to be indoors. Church service. Trump will start Monday morning by attending a church service at the St. John's Episcopal Church located across Lafayette Park from the White House, a tradition for presidents-elect. That's right. He did that last time. The future is female. Oh, God forbid us. Liberty and justice for all, says this cuck here. This simp, this male feminist. Don't know what ERA means. Hashtag me too. Oh, dear. Oh, dearie me. We won't back down. I think there's a picture of a woman's bits there. I don't know why that's significant. At least they're not wearing some of them wearing the pink hats. They're called pussy hats. Climate. Oh, dear. We will not be silent. Oh, God, I wish you would. Truth matters, but no more lies. Democracy. Oh, there's the pink hats. That's the equivalent. There's their answer to the MAGA hats. I'm mad, sad, and overwhelmed. Oh, defend migrant workers. And this is something in a foreign language. No safety in silence. As a teacher, I will never stop fighting for every student's right to exist in power and peace, not the white male students. And it goes more. No safety in silence. Sex offenders cannot live in government housing. Well, there's a few been living there for the past 4 years, and Trump's going to get rid of them for you, and you won't thank him for it, will you? Witches revolt. Oh, dear. The pink hats again. DC Metro. They're packed with activists found for the People's March. Yes. Security. Oh, yeah. Here's the Ring of Steel. They're going to need that. Oh, but can you trust the police? I hope so. Trump will have his own security. That's the thing. Construction workers scramble to prepare the indoor ceremony. Yeah. And this is the Women's March. So now the People's March. Very sexist. And there we go. That's it. That's That's your march. I mean, a lot of these people have heard lies about Trump and they believe them. I mean, the kind of lies that have been told, even by Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, Whoopi Goldberg actually used to be quite funny. Whoopi Goldberg used to be like a quite a funny lady. She was a good comedian. Now she's gone crazy. She's got Trump derangement syndrome, big time. For example, she was on a TV show. She was saying, Whoopi Goldberg was saying that Trump is one of the things Trump is going to do is force mixed, interracial couples to separate. He's going to force men and women of different races to split up and never see each other again. I mean, what kind of bullcrap is that? Firstly, why and how? Ask yourself those two important questions. I mean, she said this in full seriousness, without a tongue in cheek, without crossing her fingers, without anything. Why doesn't she just retire? Why doesn't this old bag just retire? She used to be funny. She's not anymore. Just shut up, Whoopi. God, you really are living up to your name, I'll tell you. Right, now let's get onto the UFOs. No, first, indoor inauguration. Yes, we'll do that first. Because the UFO is going to take ages. I hope I've got time for all this. If you remember that, here we go. Right. This is strange. This was announced just at the last minute. It's Donald Trump's inauguration moved indoors due to dangerous cold. President-elect Donald Trump's inaugural address on the 20th of January will take place indoors due to dangerously cold weather being forecast next week in Washington. Well, you can see here, it actually is going to be chilly. On Freedom Day, it's going to be sunny, but it's going to be -3 degrees, -11 at night. That is cold. That is damn cold. That's as cold as it was in Oxford last week when we had the coldest weather ever. So that's really interesting. Now, this is a look back at Ronald Reagan's 1985 inauguration was held inside the Capitol Rotunda. I actually got an entire video of it somewhere, but we'll just watch this bit here. So we can expect to see something like this.
Justice Potter Stewart will administer the oath of office.
So help you God. So help me God.
It's the Vice President.
I, Ronald Reagan, do solemnly swear
That I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States.
the office of President of the United States.
Yeah.
So help me God.
Congratulations, sir.
There's the 21 gun salute.
There are no words to.
Oh, no, not. But I have actually got a longer version of this here. You can watch it at your leisure. It's on YouTube. Yeah, we're going to see something like that. It'll be similar. And here it is. This is 23 minutes long here. But we'll see something like this. This was in 1985, his second term, because if a president is re-inaugurated as second.
Oath of office to the Vice.
That I will bear the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. On which I am about to enter.
You get the picture.
So help
don't
you God. So help me God.
You can watch the longer version. Yeah, we will see something like that. It's going to be a bit like that. It's going to be in the same room. It's going to be underneath the Capitol Rotunda. Oops, what's happening? Am I still there? Yes, I'm still there. Yeah. It's going to be similar. It's going to be underneath the Capitol Rotunda. What? It's blank. What are you talking about? Oh, don't joke about it, man. Oh God, don't joke about it. It's Phuket. God, don't. It's not a laughing matter. It really is not. This guy's in serious danger. I mean, he's going right, and he's going. I mean, it's a testament to his courage. He's going there with his wife and child. He's going into the belly of the beast, where he's going to have to walk on tiptoes for the next 4 years. Well, not tiptoes. You know. Hello, CCG. Sorry, I'm late. Happy New Year. No worries, CCG. No worries, mate. Okay, so that's what you can expect to see. The inauguration. On the subject of security, now I want to show you an Alex. I wanted to show you the video, but I can't because I can't show this on YouTube because the guy's been banned. I was actually thinking I should have done this as an alt tech, but where is it? Here we go. This is Infowars.com. I can't show you the video, but I can show you the article he did a couple of days ago. Here we go. Helicopter scan for nuclear irregularities. This is just a taste of the kind of security they've got going here. It's Andrew Pridgeon. Oh, cool. Monday's inauguration, which security agencies have warned us threats against, is reported to be the most guarded inauguration in history. I wonder why. Why is it the most guarded ever? The Department of Energy, the parent agency of the National Nuclear Security Administration, is responsible for safeguarding national security in relation to the military applications of nuclear science. There's a video of these people actually flying. Let's check out this video.
An exclusive look at how security officials are prepared after months of planning.
So, crane to your left. Got it.
From only 150 feet in the air, pilots dodge buildings.
And tower to your left side. Got it.
Flying in a grid over the National Mall to scan for radiological or nuclear irregularities, threats like dirty bombs.
So you're trying to create a blueprint of what the radiation in Washington, D.C. looks like ahead of the inauguration. Correct.
Department of Energy scientist Jacqueline Brandon calls this low-flying helicopter one of just 2 of its kind her office.
If we find a radiological irregularity, we'll investigate it even further.
Highly sensitive technology sets off alarms in the air.
That's an alarm. That is an alarm.
Oh, good. At least they found it.
A slight variation in our spectra is what it's saying.
Well, that's Alex Jones did an entire segment on that in his latest show. I can't play it because the guy's been banned from YouTube. They'll just delete the video if I do that before you get a chance to download it. Why is security so tight at this election? It seems because everywhere I go, wherever the subject of this election, inauguration, there's comments underneath saying what they're going to do. Oh my God, is there going to be a drone? Is there going to be a drone attack? Are they going to stage an illness? You know, is there going to be some nutter with a gun? All these kinds of things they're scared of, and I'm scared of too. That while Trump is in this very, very hazardous situation where basically the entire establishment is against him and wants him off the scene. Now, I know very well this plan for freedom is not dependent on one man. I know that. This is why J.D. Vance and he are keeping out of each other's way, because in case one goes down, the other is there. It's a grim thing to talk about, but I understand why they've done it. So I'm not the only one thinking in these terms who's thinking, you know, God, please keep him safe. Don't let anyone harm him during these next 48 hours. We can only just hope that's the case and pray that that's the case. He's got a lot to go through. He's got a hell of a lot coming up. As you've just heard, he's on his way to DC now. He'll be landing in about 2.5 hours to host a president reception and fireworks at Trump's Sterling Golf Club. There's a cabinet reception and a vice president's dinner, which is going on in Washington at the same time. Tomorrow morning is going to be the Arlington National Cemetery, laying a tomb of the unknown soldier, a wreath tomb of the unknown soldier, which is like this memorial in Arlington National Cemetery. He'll be vulnerable there. I just hope he's got his own security there as well as the Secret Service he can't rely on, because they're still Biden. It's still Biden's Secret Service. Then there's the Make America Great Again victory rally. So this is the final rally before the inauguration, the evening before or the afternoon before she's doing at this Capital One event area in Washington, D.C. Again, I hope security is at its best there. And then finally, in the evening, he's holding a candlelit dinner before Monday morning, the church service, tea at the White House. Tea at the White House. And I hope he gets it. I hope he bloody tests the tea before he drinks it. Because Biden's people will put something in it, cyanide or something. And then finally, the inauguration. I just hope that to God people are looking after him. I just hope that he's got the right people looking after him. I'm going to be on tenterhooks now, literally till Monday afternoon, my time. Alex is sort of in two minds. He thinks they may not try anything this weekend because it'd be too obvious. They'll wait until he's actually inaugurated, then they'll find a way to bring him down. Red Snapper, yeah, this is. I know you've been very speculative about what they might try, and you're right to, because I'm thinking about these things too, and you're just voicing what I'm thinking. I don't want to talk about it too much in case because I'm a bit superstitious, but yeah, they could try all kinds of things. But I mean, everything we thought of, I have no doubt that his own security detail would have thought of as well. And the fact that he's lived as long as he has done, and the fact that he stayed alive this long, the fact that he didn't die in 2016 when he first started running for president, is a testimony that some very, very powerful people are looking after him. And despite the fact that there have been numerous attempts on his life, most dangerously at Butler, where the Secret Service you can't trust, because it's obvious, that they didn't. Obviously, Thomas Crooks wasn't part of any conspiracy. He was just some stupid kid who he listened too much to Whoopi Goldberg and people like her, and thought, I'm going to take Trump out. I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory and take down Trump. And of course, then all the security then has to do is just look the other way at just the right moment. Prouty's law. Who looks the other way at just the right moment? That I think Trump will have learned a lesson. Also, the Ryan Routh attack at the golf course, which didn't go to court, which luckily the security they did try and shoot him before they had the chance. Trump never got near him, or he never got near Trump. But surely this is going to teach him, Red Snapper. Are the Greys looking after Trump? I hope loads of people will look after him. Anyone who can look after him is looking after him, I hope. I'm going to be on absolute tenterhooks for the next 48 hours. And I will do a video on Tuesday about this, or sooner if necessary, about whatever happens in the next couple of days. And I know that this plan, I know there are powerful people looking after him. I know very well that he wouldn't have lived this long if there weren't powerful people looking after him. But the bad guys are panicking. They're cornered rats. They're going to be desperate. They're going to lash out. That's my worry. So, I mean, I don't often do this, but please just join me in a moment of prayer. God our Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, please just look after President-elect Trump. Please take care of him. Don't let the bad guys get him, please. So, amen. You won't often see me doing that on my videos, I'll tell you. So, see, the Greys performed a prostate exam on Trump. They gave him 2 thumbs up. Oh, God. Trump is the new Boudica. Now, observer, now you're thinking like me. All right, guys, I'm going to have to go to the bog again. I'm nervous, that's why. I'll play a bit more Patrick for you while I go to the bog, all right? It's all the dragon juice I'm drinking as well.
Okay, to spread the word, because let me say this. I don't know what classified document Jeremy is talking about in that video, but what I do know is I found the person that's been spreading that rumor in the UFO community for years. His name is retired CIA officer John Ramirez. Here's a clip.
That's what we would do if there was like a mass landing. Would we just simply prepare for a conflict, or would we actually initiate something? That's right. A scary thing.
Well, I think the dialogue we're having now in this country, even with the recent legislation that passed through the legislature and is on its way up to the president's desk, even with that, we're kind of preparing the U.S. population, at least, and by extension, the world population, into that reality that there is a presence here, and that we need to explain this presence. Because if they show up and we continue to do what we did before in previous decades, and they show up, there will be mass panic. But if you understand that these are real, and we have 5 years from 2022, or maybe now 4 years, if they come in 2027, for the U.S. government to prepare the people about what is up there. And in many ways, I think the word got out within the government that they're showing up in 2027, and we better be prepared. And if not, there's going to be a lot of explaining to do. And so I think that dialogue has happened within inside the government, in certain areas inside the government, that we need to prepare. And that's why in 2017, that set a clock of 10 years. And why Lou Elizondo earlier in this year said, just find a hobby for 5 years. And, it'll all be out in 5 years. And he said that this year. So that was 2027. And I would say I've heard 2027 in a kind of an official capacity that I can't reveal. So I think I would say that people in the government are aware of something happening and that there's limited time, a few more years to prepare the people. And that's what's ramping up this acceleration from the previous 7 decades of not even acknowledging it to now we are acknowledging it at a faster and faster pace.
So there's the culprit, right? CIA, former CIA, retired. Do you ever really retire from the CIA? Right? John Ramirez spreading this exact rumor that Jeremy Corbell is talking about and warning us about. And I agree with Jeremy, right? They admit a lie or admit a truth to then push a lie, right? Now,
fake alien invasion.
Who is John Ramirez? How about a little more background on?
All right, guys. Hope you guys are all right. Here we go. Rhiannon, hello, welcome. I've been to see the Ronda Symphony Orchestra playing Swansea. They were great. Oh, cool. I know you're a classical music fan. Nice. Well, thanks for making it back and joining in, Rhiannon. I hope you had a lovely time. Has anyone else new just arrived? See How We Live in Childhood's End. That's an Arthur C. Clarke novel. And it's about reptilians, yes. Rhiannon Raven. Sorry for being late. No worries, no worries. As long as you had a good time. Stan Smith. Ben loves a good dump. I haven't been eating enough to have a dump lately. I've been on tomato juice for the last 3 days. I haven't had a. When did I last have a? I'm not going to talk to you about my bloody bowel habits, but put it this way. I haven't been normal since I've been on my detox. Childhood's End. It's not. I used to be a huge Arthur C. Clarke fan, but Childhood's End I didn't think was very good. But it's about like reptilian humanoids, which of course in more recent years I've come to realise is very, very interesting indeed. Right, back to my notes. Now, let's just go into it. Right. All right. Last things about the inauguration. Nancy Pelosi's not going. Styx Hexenhammer thinks it's because of sour grapes. Other people, Alex Jones thinks it's because they may be planning some kind of thing that she doesn't want to be around because maybe she doesn't want to get caught up in the crossfire of any attack they're going to do. And I think it's more likely to be sour grapes. I think if the bad guys, the deep state, were planning, God forbid, like I said, they have some kind of massive mass casualty event planned where they hope to take down Trump and lots of other people with him. I don't think they give a shit about Nancy Pelosi. They wouldn't tell her. The same goes for Big Dick Mike. Yeah, Michael Obama. It is not going either. How about that? Oh, and Red Snapper said something interesting. Yes, Keir Starmer has been banned. Now it's very interesting. I was talking about that. Someone was saying that whenever there's an inauguration, various world leaders are invited. Some are allowed, some are invited, some are not. But some can't attend even when they are invited. But never before has a UK Prime Minister been banned from attending. Even when George Washington won the old revolution, they still said they would still try to build friendly terms with the Brits and the King and everything. So this is something that Starmer has specifically been excluded. I mean, whether he tries to gate crash or not, I don't know if he will. I don't think he'll bother. But it's interesting, you see, because Starmer was very chummy with Biden, but Trump is snubbing him deliberately. Now, why is that? Is it because of because Trump is very keen? He's very keen on Britain going back to North Sea gas and oil, which of course Starmer wants to. Trump wants to drill, baby, drill. And that was which is a rather ironic statement because it was coined by that woman from Alaska. What's her name? Oh, I forgot. I'm terrible with names. I remember the last one. It's William Crystal. The guy I was trying to, the Never Trumper I was talk about earlier was William Crystal. Whenever I can't think of a name, I just don't think about it for a while, and it comes back, and it eventually pops back into my head. But that horrible woman from Alaska, it was her catchphrase: "Drill, baby, drill." Sarah Palin, thank you, DJ B2. Yeah, but Trump has adopted it. He wanted Starmer to drill, baby, drill the North Sea, and Starmer said, "No, we've got to stop global warming by having wind farms and solar panels, and that's going to reduce the electric power on the grid. So Rhiannon loses everything in her freezer, but I don't care because I'm Keir Starmer." And also, yes, we want to reduce we might just bring the population down a little bit by means I'm not going to talk to you about. God, I'm going to have to OBS this. I'm going to have to OBS this live stream afterwards. All right, but so Starmer's been banned. Nancy Pelosi's refusing to attend, as is Michael. Big Dick Mike is not going either. So what's next on my list? Okay, this is the bit you've all been waiting for. Right. Is it a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen? Again, I've got to ask. I asked you that question about the Gaza-Israel ceasefire. It suddenly just emerged out of nowhere just before Trump gets inaugurated. Something else has just emerged out of nowhere just before Trump gets inaugurated. A rather huge amount of UFO. There's been some huge UFO updates. Is it a coincidence that just before Trump gets inaugurated, we get this? Now, you've already seen the Jeremy Corbell thing. I'll play you a little bit more of Patrick in a minute, but first I want to play you some News Nation. Is it a coincidence that this is happening now? Yeah, I'm claiming fair use on this.
Ooh.
Been an email.
Hey.
You should bring that up to the next one.
Top tier one. Can I say I'm very convinced that Jake Barber is a former top tier one military personnel. He's served at the highest levels of the US military, the US Air Force. His service is corroborated by 3 people on the program and 2 of his colleagues who've worked with him on what he euphemistically...
This is the one that's going to be on this evening. Well, it's 8 p.m. Eastern time. 1 a.m. our time. I'll be awake for it. If I can watch it, it may not be on YouTube straight away.
It really refers to as the range.
In this country, you can't watch News Nation actually on their channel.
Where these objects were recovered are backing his story, and they are also former tier one operators.
Steve Bassett? Oh, no, it's not. The old fire pit talk. You can't beat it, can you? It's all very manly.
The very highest elite of the US military. We've been able to confirm Mr. Barber's service with him. We've been with him when he's gone to give evidence to the Senate Select Committee for Intelligence, and we've been watching...
He's one of the whistleblowers that spoke in the skiff. You know, all the backslappers were going, these whistleblowers don't exist. Grush made them up. Coulthard made them up. Wow.
Over his shoulder, as he's also briefed...
Everyone's taking the piss out of him, right? Because this is, if you've watched this whole video, I'll show you the whole video in a minute. But everyone's taking the piss out of him because they're saying he's an alcoholic just because he's got a few bottles of wine in his house. As you can see, he's got a wine rack. They're also saying he used to be a drug addict. I mean, the backslappers and the skeptics are already digging up dirt on this guy. And these fuckers don't, and then they complain because whistleblowers never come forward. It's because of these bastards. That's why. It's because of you backslappers and skeptics. Because the first thing you do when someone comes forward is you just, rather than addressing their points and dismantling their arguments if you think they're wrong, you dig up dirt on them like that Ken Klippenstein did with Grush. So they're saying, look, he's got these wild staring eyes. He looks like the bloke in the Hills Have Eyes, the bald guy in the Hills Have Eyes. Or that referee, that Italian football referee, Pierluigi Collina.
Arrow, the Pentagon's UFO office. And it's quite clear everyone's taking his information very seriously. The big question is anybody going to do anything about it?
What's an HI?
Hello?
You want to take that question? NHI stands for non-human intelligence. It's basically, Chris, the vernacular that's used now to describe something that is not of human origin, basically a biological specimen.
Yeah, I think if Trump appointed UFO disclosures are, it's got to be Elizondo. I know his head looks a bit like a pineapple, but he's surely not Greer. It's got to be him and not Greer, I think.
Or a technology that's created by something that is intelligent but is not human.
What do you make of that, Lou?
Well, look, if this turns out to be legitimate, then you're talking about a story that's probably even bigger than the 2017 story the New York Times broke when I first came out and some of my colleagues. Yeah. This is a tier 1 operator. So think of the best of the best. People who've
this guy's a first-hand witness. These are the people who the backslappers and the skeptics saying, well, I'm not going to believe you because you haven't brought them forward. And now they're coming forward. Are the skeptics and backslappers going to admit they were wrong? Or are they just going to raise the bar? Do you remember my skeptic video? Raise the bar, that fallacy. Are they going to do that?
Psychologically evaluated on a regular and continuing basis. They have top secret security clearances. They take drug tests, polygraph examinations, and they are really America's best of the best. They're our finest operators in special operations. So whenever anything bad goes down, these are the folks that you call to go and fix it. And so when you have someone of his caliber coming out to have this conversation with the American people, that says a lot. People better be paying attention. If it turns out what he's saying is legitimate, this is going to be perhaps one of the biggest stories, frankly, over the last 50 years, perhaps.
Oh, longer than that, Lou.
Ross, what are the questions for you after what we'll learn in the special tomorrow night?
Look, the simple fact is that there's a problem, Chris. The Pentagon is consistently trying to evade answering questions on this subject. They've told us that they have confirmed that Jacob Barber's claims have been made, that they're aware of the claims, but they're maintaining their persistent claim that there is no evidence of any programs regarding the possession of reverse engineering of extraterrestrial materials. And I can tell you, Mr. Barber has overwhelming evidence. That evidence was provided originally to Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick by a member of his team, including imagery. And for some reason, that imagery and other data disappeared when the new RO director, the new Pentagon UFO boss, tried to investigate this material. He couldn't find it anywhere in the Pentagon's UFO office. It would appear someone had lost it. And I think what's going on here is the RO, the Pentagon's UFO office, is being used as a foil. It's basically being used by the Defense Department.
Like Project Blue Book was. I brought this up at the time when I analysed their hearing.
To try to fob off any further public transparency. And frankly, I think we're now on a slippery slope because Mr. Barber, as a whistleblower, is just the beginning. There are many more in the sidelines.
Lou, weren't you one of the guys that used to make that stuff disappear so the rest of us couldn't find out about it?
I mean, yeah, Chris, I was at a time one of those guys. Some people have accused me of being one of the men in black. I prefer to be referred to now as one of the men in white.
Some of them still think he is. That's the thing. That's the problem. A lot of people still think he is.
To bring transparency and some information into the public eye. Ross has done an incredible job with this. By the way, he's been sitting on this now for almost a year and a half, if I'm not mistaken, Ross. And I know individuals that I personally am aware of that I'm friends with that are also former special operations operatives that were helping in the security of this individual because, like many of us, he feared for his life because of the information that he had is so explosive. Think about this for a second. Surprise, surprise. Sean Kirkpatrick, the former Aero director, saying, well, someone may have talked to us, but we don't have any more of the evidence that was supplied to us. The new Aero director, I think, is taking this topic very seriously. Frankly, I'm very optimistic that maybe we'll get somewhere with this new director. But the last director had showed himself over and over again, frankly, in my opinion, to not be very truthful to the American people and to Congress. And so now we have this whistleblower coming out, and you're going to see, I guess, in video of him actually going and reporting this information to key figures in our government.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find.
I'll go to your comments now. I'll go to your comments because I'm sorry I can't answer all your comments. I wish I could. There's too many of them. Trump needs to appoint Lou Elizondo disclosure czar. He does. He needs to make him the UFO czar, whatever you call it. Give him, maybe set up an entire department, the department for ET affairs, like Bryce Zabel and Richard Dolan suggested in their book AD After Disclosure. But make Lou the head of it. Make him secretary for ET relations or something like that. Honestly, I mean, I want, as I said before, I really care about Trump. That's the thing. I know this plan is not dependent on one man. It's not. I mean, there's no way that they would make Trump the center of everything to the point where if he was taken out, the whole plan would collapse. But I care about him personally. I care about him. I care about all these people personally. I care about all these heroic figures they've actually got in. They've got it in power. They've got some great people. They got JFK. They got RFK Jr. That's a bit of a Freudian slip. JFK Jr. Oh, I can't talk about that on YouTube, but that'll be coming up in the Alt Tech one, where I will bring up that little letter of the alphabet, the one that comes after the 16th and before the 18th. I will bring up JFK Jr. there. No, RFK Jr. There's Tulsi Gabbard. These people are all allies against the deep state. All right, but I care about Trump personally. I want him to be okay for purely personal reasons. A lot of talk about Jimmy Carter, that he saw a UFO. Yes. Lots of you. Yeah, the same time he died. That's right. He died. Carter died at the age of 100. And this was during the drone flap, because the drone flap is still going on. Oh, see how we're living. Ross was embedded with a US unit in the Gulf War. He's CIA sans doubt. You don't trust Ross, so you really? Yeah. Oh, you don't trust him. I'm not so sure. I know that you have a backslapper element to see how we're living. Observer. Are you in love with Trump? That's right. Let's go full backslapper. Let's go full backslapper. Oh, I want to marry Trump. Divorce Melania and marry me. Yeah, let's to go. Rhiannon says they might be allies against the deep state, or they might be playing a very complex game. I'm too cynical. I'm sorry. I know you also have the backslapper element to you, Rhiannon, but I can't prove that's not the case. I've said before. I can't prove. I mean, if you go to the full extent that the backslappers go to, every single thing that happens, no matter how positive it seems to be, is not really positive. It's just a deeper, more complex, more subtle version of the conspiracy. So, I'd like to ask you and see how we're living, Rhiannon, see how we're living, all the other backslappers in chat. She of the slapback. By your criteria, how would you ever? Is there any criteria by which you will accept that a new world order is defeated? Grab them by the fanny. Oh, the fanny jokes are coming out now. Yes. What's Trump going to do about the fannies? Yes. All right. Now this is the bit. This is the one I wanted to show you earlier, where it's this guy here. I've become a big fan of this guy, actually, Stephen Gardner. I don't have to play this, but he does say here that there is a litmus test here. There is an acid test. Call it what you will, which will be decided by Trump and his attitude to the January 6th situation. These are the subjects he talks about here. You can pause and read this if you want. Alex Jones emphasized freeing the political prisoners as a critical litmus test for Trump's honesty about January the 6th. Yeah. This is a cornerstone of Trump proving his commitment to justice. There you go. So, I think that's probably true, actually. I think that's fair enough to say. That's fair enough to say. Okay, what's next? Let's check the headlines. Has Trump landed yet? He won't have landed yet. He's on his way. He'll be in the air. It's 5:45 his time. And it was how long ago did he mention that he was going to be? Let's have a look. He was. When did he mention he was boarding Air Force One? Let's have a look. I retruthed it an hour ago, so he's still got a long way to fly. only just over an hour ago. Yes, I'm going to have to be careful. I'm definitely going to OBS this when it's finished, so that before it gets taken down. So what's next? Check my notes. I'll tell you what. Let's go through the Twitter feeds of Greer. Let's go through Coulthard and Greer's Twitter feeds. Start with Greer. Greer doesn't do much on Twitter, but here he's just, be still my beating heart. Oh, testicles framed in denim. A gorgeous hunking producer of testosterone man sweat. Oh, stop it. Stop it, Ben. You're straight. You fancy women. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Oh, God. I'm taking a big risk for you guys. You know that. I am going to spend a lot of time now looking at Greer, which means by the end of this video, how do I put this? By the end of this video, I might be a very different kind of man, if you know what I mean. Oh, anyway, right, let's go. I'm sorry, I can't answer I'm sorry, I can't answer everyone's comment. I'm sorry. Right, Greer. Let's have a look at the Dr. Stephen Greer podcast. This was January the 16th. What's this? Project Starlight. I don't know what. Oh, that's his letter to Bill Clinton. He doesn't post. See, January the 16th. He doesn't put January the 16th. He doesn't put much on. He doesn't do much with January the 12th. He doesn't do much with Twitter. Oh, that's just his trailer for Battle for Disclosure. You can now read his videos. You can now watch his movies for free after I paid £6 for them all. Oh, that's the cruise he's on. You can go on a Stephen Greer cruise, Battle for Disclosure. Oh, we're going back into December now. Forget that. Okay, let's look at Ross Coulthard's feed. Some of these craft are so big that you can't see how big they are. They can't be moved. Let's have a look. Right. Gary Nolan supports Jake Barber. Right, what's this?
With Jake. And so I spent a lot of time with Jake and members of his team.
Who's he talking to? Oh, it's Kelly Chase. Leslie Kane. I don't know who he is. And Hal Puthoff. So this is the latest.
Who we talked about, talking about tonight. And they are both professional, extremely well-versed in the subject matter that they're talking about, and believe as much as did Lou Elizondo and David Grush that whatever it is that is being observed needs to be talked about openly, and that they're going to talk about some of the things that they were involved with that are parts of the stories you've heard for the last 40 or 50 years. So I'm excited about it. And I hope people respect what Jake is doing and the chance that he's taking for not just himself, for the family, but let's see how it goes. But I've seen a preview of what it is that News Nation is going to be about, and I've seen a Skywatcher video that's going to be coming out after that, and I think people are going to be very pleased.
Yep, right. I agree, and I've seen a preview. I'll show you the preview in a minute. The Tedesco brothers, they've actually been they're Sky Watchers. All right, this is the Good Trouble. I haven't seen this. The Good Trouble Show with Matt Ford. Oh, it's not until Sunday, right? So that's why I haven't seen it. 1 p.m. PST. All right, so I'll have to watch that. It's probably is this a thing here? Is it already ready? Getting ready to go? Yeah, live in 22 hours. All right. It's another thing to remember. It'll be on my history now. Oh, that's Jake. That's him. I'm actually following him now. Jake Barber. The sky is not classified. Our consciousnesses can't be redacted. Good point. Well, who's this?
Years. Everything that I've worked on and seen is not anywhere close to the same level of technology as the Tic Tac, for example, or other things that have been.
Defense aerospace contractor told of an egg-shaped metallic UFO. My goodness. See, there's more of these people speaking out. Chris Mellon has retweeted Donald Trump Jr.'s thing. I watched this triggered with Donald Trump Jr. with Elizondo and Ross. What's this?
risks everything to reveal News Nation Center.
I'll be saying more about that later. I'll show you more about that later. I see Ross posts, he actually tweets a lot more than, I'll show you this now.
Military can't explain. All right, UFO sightings the military can't explain. Congressional hearings, Pentagon whistleblowers, armadas.
What is she wearing? She looks, this thing doesn't suit her. She's an attractive lady. She's wearing this sort of grey body piece here with a high collar. She looks like someone who's been in a play playing a grey alien, and she's just taken her headpiece off, the mask off. That's what she looks like wearing that. It doesn't suit her.
Strange aircraft flying over.
Liz, go back to that low cut thing. I much prefer you in that.
Of all places, New Jersey. What does it all mean? Well, since last year's
Can you hear it all right? It's very It's very low volume. I might actually show you that later because it's just very low volume. Fire damage, LA. Oh, Mike Turner. Oh, Mike Turner's gone. Hey, bad luck, Lockheed Martin. Good. Mike Turner has fucked off. Do you want to read the article first? All right, I'll read it first. I've retweeted it, but Johnson removes Mike Turner as House Intelligence Chair. Good. See, this is the Trumpian energy already starting, even before the inauguration. The Trumpian energy is starting. I don't have time to read all that, but that's good news. That's bloody good news. Oh, it's gone back to the bottom again. There we go. Where is it? Okay. Oh, this is this is Jeremy again. Jeremy Ken Lockyer Corbell. Canada Sky Project UAP. Oh, and poor old. And he's dead, isn't he? It's sad that guy's dead. Who's this? Oh, that's the. Okay, we're going back into the 14th now. All right, we're going back to the drone time. So that's Ross's done. All right, what we have here? Oh, Rhiannon says it's been derailed and it's fine, and Ben is having a good time. Oh, is this the eve of the Trump live stream? Isn't this the? Oh, the Trump live. I won't be in any fit state to doing any live streams tomorrow. I've had to cancel the gas spanner because I'm going to be on absolute tenterhooks. I won't be up to doing the gas spanner. I'll just be glued to the news about Trump, checking he's all right, watching him, praying for him, things like that. Definitely. But it's sad now. What's his name's dead, isn't he? Oh, I hate it when I can't think of names. Paul Hellyer. Yeah, Paul Hellyer died. I mean, he was 98, so obviously he's quite old. But he'd have loved to see this new Canada Skywatch project. He really, really would. He'd love to have seen that. Maybe he's watching from the spirit world. So what's next? All right, then. So let's go to these more new. Let's go to another News Nation video. Here we go. Right. Let's take a closer look at this. I think the volume should be higher. This is the same video I was showing you on Twitter, but the volume is higher.
All right, UFO sightings the military can't explain. Congressional hearings, Pentagon whistleblowers, armadas of strange aircraft flying over, of all places, New Jersey. What does it all mean? Well, since last year's groundbreaking interview with whistleblower David Grush, News Nation's been out front on this story, and we've got another major exclusive. A new whistleblower is coming forward saying he's not just saying he's heard.
They always film them walking around Washington. They did that with Grush, didn't they? Do you remember they filmed him walking around Washington, D.C.?
Heard about a secret government program to retrieve UFO crash.
Another baldy. Bald guys rule. Long live baldies.
Remains. He says he's worked on this program. He claims to have video to prove it and credentialed colleagues who back him up. And he has the attention of at least one senior lawmaker. News Nation's Ross Coulthard has been working on the story for more than a year. He conducted the interview for a special report airing right here this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And News Nation correspondent Joe Khalil is here with a first look.
For God's sake, put it on YouTube, will you? News Nation, stop putting things on your terrestrial feed where I can't see them because I'm in Britain. All right? Live stream it on YouTube, for fuck's sake. Oh, Joe Khalil. You know, Joe Khalil followed me. He followed me on Twitter for a while. Then he sort of unfollowed me. I don't know why.
Joe, these are setting claims.
Yeah, they are, Elizabeth. The man you saw in the video, Jake Barber, he's an Air Force veteran, and he is coming forward with some shocking claims. The first person to go public saying that he actually participated directly in a secret military program that he believes was to retrieve UAP or alien craft. Now, Barber says he was contracted as a helicopter pilot. He retrieved all kinds of crashed craft. Some of it, he says, top secret and explainable. Others, he says, however, he believes were non-human origin. It's not just him. We've got 3 other military veterans backing up his story on the record and on camera.
There you go, backslappers. You said that you didn't believe us because these people were, oh, we don't know. There could have been anyone. You're lying about the skiffs. Well, now here they are speaking out. Ross told you this would happen, and it's happening.
To News Nation. So take a listen quickly to just part of Ross Coulthard's conversation with Barber.
So tell me about the moment when you realized that you were involved in a retrieval of non-human technology, alien tech.
So it became very clear.
He does have wide staring eyes. Okay, this doesn't mean he was in some 70s cannibal movie. It also doesn't mean he's an alcoholic just because he's got a wine rack. And it also doesn't mean he took drugs. He could be just frightened. He could be nervous. He's talking about something he's known for decades and hasn't been able to speak about.
First time our communication process and procedure was modified. And then just visually looking at the object on the ground, you could tell that it was extraordinary and anomalous. It was not human.
How close did you get?
Well, I was a helicopter pilot, and I operate with 150-foot to 200-foot long line. So I got within 150 feet of this object.
What did you see?
I saw an egg, a white egg.
Was there any visible propulsion system on it?
No, not what we would know. There's no engine. There was no thermal.
Egg-shaped UFOs are very common. It's a common form of UFO. Ovoids, they're called.
Signature. I was operating at night when I finally came in to pick it up. So I'm working under night vision goggles at the time. And it was quite clear. I flipped them up, flipped them down, and looked at it a couple of different ways.
How did you know that that egg-shaped object was non-human in origin?
Well, visually, after seeing all kinds of things in my past, it was clearly something that was ridiculously looking. It's inconsistent with anything I'd ever seen before. I can also tell you that the
Mick West is saying, by the way, that means it's probably not alien, because this guy says, well, you don't know it's alien, do you? And things like that. But really, the skeptics, they're clutching at straws now. They really are pushed. This is really pushing the skeppers and the backslappers up against a wall and saying, right, guys, where'd you go from here? So again, they're desperate.
Action by my team. We all knew we were dealing with something extraordinary.
And at no stage were you ever subsequently told that the craft was of non-human origin?
I will tell you that during this process, over the last couple of years, it's been confirmed to me by ranking members of the UAP task force that what we were working with that night was in fact NHI, and it was not a unique experience.
Well, how about that?
So, Elizabeth, Saturday night, 8 p.m. is that special that you can see here. They've also got some exclusive video of one of these retrievals that's never before been seen. We've also confirmed Barber has met with some high-level Senate staff.
I hope it's not I'll show you the video in a minute, because I hope they're not just going to repeat this stock footage. I'll show you in a minute.
So a lot there, and we're going to see all that this weekend.
Wow. That's a blockbuster. All right, Joe Khalil, thanks so much. Yeah. And We can all watch Hunting UFOs, the crash retrieval whistleblower, this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here, only on News Nation. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com
See, she looks a lot better in that, and she's got her makeup looks better too.
to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button.
Okay, so where were we? Let's talk about, right, where are we now? 4 months ago, 2 days ago, played that one 3 days ago. Well, that's just a part of it. 1 year, 2 months, 4 months. 1 day ago, Hunting UFOs. This is a preview. All right, this is a preview of the whole thing.
You've heard the testimony about a secret government program to retrieve and reverse engineer UFOs.
Has the government conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs, yes or no?
Yes. News Nation was the first to bring you this story.
We have spacecraft from another species. We do, yeah.
And now, for the first time anywhere, a military veteran comes forward to say he was part of that program, with video to prove it.
My work has included the...
It's not this video you've just been seeing. It's not that. That's stock footage that they've been... News Nation, news programs do this all the time. They'll sometimes insert some stock footage, which has nothing to do with the actual story, but it aids the story's narrative. I hope that's not... I hope they're not going to show that and then say, well, that's the actual UFO crash retrieval footage, because that'll play into the skeptics' hands.
The recovery of downed UAP of non-human origin.
Revealing how he retrieved alien craft.
What did you see? I saw an egg.
It changed his life forever.
What we call a psionic component to the research and development of the UAP program.
And how he plans to do it again for the world to see.
The skies are not classified. Your conscience can't be redacted.
News Nation presents Hunting UFOs, the crash retrieval whistleblower with Ross Coulthart.
How about that, eh? Right, let's just go back to... Let's go back to the vet. I'll keep that open in case I need to go to the toilet again. Because... You know, first two things come up about this, all right? Firstly, I'll repeat, it's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence that this is only happening because there's a Trump inauguration coming up. This is Trumpian energy. This is all a part of this. It's all connected. It's because Trump is now in Washington. He's heading for Washington right now. He's going to take over, God willing, and the deep state is going to be finished. This is what I'm calling Monday Freedom Day. Right, okay. Psionic control psyops. Right. I don't know what psionic means. Leon says UAP to encourage us to think they're not physical objects. Well, you see, they are physical objects. I mean, they have like etheric elements and physical elements, which is a bit confusing. And Stan Smith mentions the egg in the gate said grey. Yes, that's right. Yeah, I should point out that this is all because of Trump. Well, it's all connected. It's Rhiannon says here, I fear Ben is going to be disappointed. If I am, then I'll accept. I'll take full responsibility for that. I'll take full responsibility for that. But what's this? Fucking Ben's got skid marks on that grifter cardie, on that gifter card. Oh, you. But I don't know. I mean, I always think it's better, but it's always better to be an optimist than a pessimist in this sort of thing. Because if you're an optimist and you're proved wrong, yeah, you feel disappointed. But if you're a pessimist and you're proved wrong, you miss out on all the fun. You uninvite yourself from the party. You know, it's a thing. It's anyway, guys. Let's go to see what's up vetted. Because guess what, right? His royal gorgeousness, his royal sexiness, that wonderful hunk of testosterone producing man meat, has made a claim. He says, and he always does this, Greer. Can you see this? You can see this. Greer always does, like I said, he always tries to match, whenever one of his rivals is doing something, he tries to do the same. He tries to match them with a retaliatory strike. Because he's got this, you know, what thing about Greer you got to realize, right? Greer's been doing this for about 33 years, 33, 34 years, and he's got a right to be proud of what he's done. But the thing is, he can't bear it now because disclosure is not all about him. And he wants it to be all about him. This is why he can't stand James Fox and Lou Elizondo. And if it makes you, I want to ask him the question: what does he really want out of this movement? Does he want disclosure, or he just wants him to be? Or does he just want to be the big I am in the whole thing? Because he seems to be trying to undermine all the other people who want the same thing that he does. And I think it's because he does want disclosure just to be all about him. And he's really took the biscuit this time, because he's now claiming, just after Coulthard and Elizondo have been talking about Jake Barber, he's saying, no, Jake Barber belongs to me. He's my man. Just have a watch of this. Again, I'm claiming fair use, so I don't think Patrick will mind. Here we go. Stephen Greer. Here we go. Can you see this? Yes, you can. Right.
Stephen Greer just made a bombshell claim on his new podcast in episode 2 about this guy right here.
A lot of the work we did was on what I call the range, where the U.S. government and its private partners use to test all kinds of things, weapon systems and resilience to weapon systems of certain craft. And so you see a lot of exciting things. My work has included the recovery of downed UAP of non-human origin.
How long have you known this secret about unidentified anomalous phenomena being of non-human origin?
For more than 10 years.
And at no stage were you ever subsequently told that the craft was of non-human origin?
I will tell you that during this process over the last couple of years, it's been confirmed to me by ranking members of the UAP task force that what we were working with that night was in fact NHI, and it was not a unique experience.
Now, I made a longer video, and there's way more of a preview about that gentleman. I made a video about that, so I'll put a link down in the description if you want to check it out. All right, so that guy tomorrow night is coming out with a full interview on News Nation with Ross Coulthard to explain his entire story. And Stephen Greer just dropped a new episode of his podcast where he is claiming to have a direct connection with that guy. He's basically claiming that's one of his guys, right? That's one of his people that was going to come forward.
This whistleblower does not belong to Ross Coulthard. This whistleblower is mine, and I've been looking after, nurturing him and grooming him for all these years. That's why disclosure is still all about me. I'll let him speak for himself.
And blow the whistle on this whole thing. So let's take a look at the clip.
Welcome to episode 2 of the Dr. Stephen Greer podcast. My name is Michael Mazzola. I'm a filmmaker who has collaborated many times with Dr. Greer, and I'll be asking a few questions. Dr. Greer, why don't we kick off with the big news that is breaking right now?
Sure, and thanks, Michael. I've spoken for some time about a group of people who have worked at black sites out west in sensitive operations, where I visited those sites. The leader of that team has come forward. He had a little cameo on News Nation yesterday. That would be Wednesday. That was talking about his involvement with the crash retrieval operations and what have you. There will be more that will be coming out Saturday on that same show with Ross.
So tell me about the moment when you realized that you were involved in a retrieval of non-human technology, alien tech.
So it became very clear the first time our communication process and procedure was modified. And then just visually looking at the object on the ground, you could tell that it was extraordinary and anomalous. It was not human.
What people need to understand is that this has evolved a lot in the last 2 months. As of this past summer, that individual, Jake Barber, and his team, as well as people from other sites who are working with him, we're going to just collect a lot of the evidence of the crashes, the bodies, the retrievals, the man-made craft, hand them over, and we'd put it out publicly. Then they decided to do it through some government process with an office called DOPSR, which clears things that are going to be written and released at the Pentagon, DOPSR. You can look it up. Another one of those alphabet soup acronyms in the government, which are endless. But those are the ones who review what something you're going to print or release that's of a top secret nature. And then also they decided to unmask themselves. I've talked about this in the last month or two, that this was a very big development, a very good development, that instead of it being an anonymous drop of information and intelligence and images without provenance, because this happens all the time in my situation. Someone ever wants to remain anonymous, they give me information, but I can't point to where it came from. Which, of course, people then say, well, maybe Dr. Greer got that from some unreliable source, or it's not legitimate. So in this case, their bona fides are extremely high. They're going to be established in terms of their long-term involvement with these operations, decades. And the other part of it that's very exciting is that because they're naming themselves, they're adding the credibility of having been there and are currently boots on the ground at these facilities, right? It's not like they were there in the 60s or 80s or something. These are current operations from firsthand people who are operational there, who have been special forces, and and embedded with corporate activities at the Lockheed Skunk Works and Northrop Grumman and what have you. That's really quite a major development. Now, the evidence that exists is way vaster than what you're going to see Saturday.
Oh yeah,
it's going to come out.
I have the real evidence. I'm the superior one. I've got the goods. Ross Coulthard doesn't know what I know.
Parts over the next couple of months, and a lot of this is strategic on their part to see how does the public handle it, what does the media do with it, and more importantly, what pushback and dangers are there coming back to them from rogue elements of government programs, whether it be law enforcement or other activities.
Now, let's break down that clip a little bit. But before we do that...
Grief, I mean, that bloke is so far up his own arse, isn't he? He's so far up his own arse, he could lick the inside of his own tonsils.
Let me tell you about the sponsor of today's video, because, guys,
Sorry,
I got to
Patrick,
keep the mics on. It's the only way I can do these videos. Actually use myself, to be honest with you. Again, free to use, right? Just link the of interesting, which is this.
The evidence that exists is way vaster than what you're going to see Saturday. It's going to come out in parts over the next couple of months.
Now, because you see, in episode 1, he said something different. He said this.
The reason we're starting this podcast now, rather emergently here today, is because we have a group of people who are in the process in the next 72 hours or so who will be coming forward with a great deal of information and evidence related to the UFO and NHI or extraterrestrial issue.
So I don't know. Right? Does it seem like the goalposts are getting moved?
Yeah, he's done this before. I should point out that Greer has also contradicted himself over Matt Livelsberger, the guy who allegedly blew himself up in the Cybertruck in Las Vegas. First, he said this guy was one of his whistleblowers, and then he said he wasn't.
I thought everything was coming out this weekend, right? But apparently there's going to be even more stuff coming out in a couple months, y'all. Right? So, I don't know.
I reckon
now, if you want to find...
I reckon he's just Greer. Oh, right, you've seen enough of that. I think Greer is basically just saying, well, it's all going to come out in a couple of months because, you see, he never said this originally. The reason he never said that originally, because he didn't know. It's only recently been announced that Ross was going to do this thing on Saturday night with Barber. When Greer found that out, he says, well, how can I upstage these people? How can I get back into the limelight? And he says, I know. I'll tell them that Coulthard is only going to give them a small taste of what's to come, man. And the real goods, the real information is held only by me, my wonderful superior self. And only from me will you get the real thing, and you'll have to wait another couple of months. But I'll make you wait because I'm Dr. Stephen Greer, and I'm better than anyone. I'm just a humble country doctor from North Carolina. What a fucking poser. What a total poser. Oh, anyway, where have we got now? Yes. So we're in the battle for disclosure, but the battle is often between different disclosure advocates who want to be like the real, they want to be the I am, don't they? They want to be the big I am. I think that's everything in my notes. All right, guys, cool. This is a long one, isn't it? Does anyone have any more? I'm sorry I haven't been able to get to all your comments and questions. Does anyone have anything they want to bring in? I'll tell you what, I'll go for another wee, and you can post your comments and questions while I'm doing that. And I'll put Patrick on again here.
Exactly who he is. Since 2021, John Ramirez, who spent 25 years in the CIA, has been providing truthful insights into the UAPs that he learned in his career. He is a highly intelligent individual who has an immense amount of knowledge and experience regarding the U.S. intelligence apparatus and the UAP subject. He has made an impressive social media presence after he revealed many UAP-related mysteries that had never been discussed in public by any government official. CIA retired John Ramirez, who specialized in ballistic missile defense systems, worked for the CIA from 1984 to 2009, holding positions in the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the Directorate of Science and Technology, and the Directorate of Intelligence. He attained GS-15 grade, which indicates that he worked for the agency in a relatively senior capacity.
Opportunity for the winner of the November 4th, 2024 presidential election, the president-elect has an opportunity to finally be the disclosure president before that magic year, 2027, which experiencers and channelers have talked about. We always hear about 26 or 27, those years.
Right, 2027.
And
yeah.
I would say that the only time that I heard from CIA that they were concerned about something I said was with, I think it was an interview where I mentioned something about the government knows about 2027.
I think it was Project Unity. There was another interview you did with him, Jay from Project Unity.
No, this was more recent. This happened this year.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe.
I'm not. I don't know if it was that one or not. I don't remember which other one you mentioned that.
Well,
but
short story is that CIA did not like me mentioning 2027.
Really? Oh man.
Now, let's get some feedback from people in the community who have heard of this story and before, right, when this came out, and what they had to say about this. Now, let's hear from Ross Coulthart on Theories of Everything podcast with Kurt Jaimungal.
2027 was mentioned at one time. I've heard other dates in the 30s. I don't know. I've got no idea. I have no leads that make me feel strongly that this is true. I think it's speculative. I just don't know. You'd have to ask Leslie or John Ramirez. And look, and on John, look, to be honest, I've spoken to John. It's never entirely clear to me how much of what John is talking about is sourced to his past role as a GS-14 or GS-15 in the CIA, i.e. a senior public official, and how much of what he's doing is speculating.
I should point out Kurt Jaimungal, that guy there. He's now become a total skeptic on the whole thing. He's like, right, and so I'll go for your comments and questions. It's getting late, but here we go. I'll just go through. I'll go backwards. Robots. Jay is the new Greer. Which Jay? Sepultura did foresee chemtrails on the tracker, right? I don't know. Oh, that's interesting. Sepultura, they were pretty good. They were. They were sort of Brazilian, weren't they? They were sort of a Brazilian death metal band, if I remember rightly. Something from the 90s. DJ, does stress make you pee-pee poo-poo? Well, I'm not going to go to poo-poo more. I'm not going to go into details, DJ. But I've been sort of sipping I've been nervously sipping the dragon juice a lot. I've drained another tankard. Can you believe it? I think that's why. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight, I don't think. Oh yeah, lots of talk about Sepultura. Mila Jovovich. Actually, yeah, let's just have a look at Mila Jovovich. I need to look at Mila Jovovich. I need to deprogram myself from watching Greer, so I don't. I am in a bit of a vulnerable mentally. I'm in a bit of a vulnerable position here, guys, because at any moment I could. You know what? Because Greer has that effect on people. It doesn't matter how red-blooded, woman fancying you are. A chap like Greer can turn your head. Right, here we go. So I know I'll look at the trailer for The Fourth Kind. The Fourth Kind. Yeah, let's look at the trailer for Fourth Kind. Let's get my testosterone flowing again, shall I? Now I've just seen Greer. Here we go, guys. Bit of Mila Jovovich.
That client review was brutal.
We're gonna be underwater for weeks.
I'm already so pruny.
This is fixed.
Here we go.
Can you state your name for the camera?
Dr. Abigail Tyler.
Okay, where would you like to begin?
I am actress Mila Jovovich, and I will be portraying Dr. Abigail Tyler. This film is a dramatization of events that occurred October 2000. Every scene in this movie is supported by archived footage. Some of what you're about to see is extremely disturbing.
That's better. I'm all right. I'm still straight. Mind you, you want to watch this. She might do a double backwards somersault and head kick you. I'm thinking of the wrong movie. All right, guys, that's it. I'm deprogrammed from Greer. All right, so green tea. I have a bladder the size of a walnut. I get it. Oh dear. It's just nerves. That's all. EA Audits is here. Hello, EA. How are you? Dr. CCJ Poo Poo Moor is a town near Kickapoo. I bet they have very, very big toilets there, don't they? In the large sewers. All right, guys. If there's any more questions or comments, DJ VG, I have a thing for Mila Jovovich when I was younger. She's not my ideal woman, actually. She's a bit skinny. But it's enough. It's enough to get me off Greer. I'll tell you. I'll be looking at my ideal women later, but I'm not going to do that on the live stream. But yeah, hey EA, I'm glad, mate. I'm glad you survived, matey. I am. But you're welcome, Green Tea. Has anyone else? All right. Niles, Keir Starmer's banned the full English breakfast for being far right. I'm not surprised. He'll ban everything for being right. Everything is far right. Everything to the right of Mao Zedong is now far right, according to Starmer, isn't he? Okay, guys. Any more questions or comments? Going to end soon because this has been a very long live stream. I'm going to have to. Well, I'm not. It's not a problem really because being up because I'm not going to be able to sleep very well tonight. Certainly, I'll be up until. I'll be watching very closely that Air Force One gets there safely. See how we're living. Thanks, Ben. If you find a News Nation stream, let us know. I will, mate. Yeah, I will. It'll probably. I've got a feeling it's just going to be on their terrestrial channel, and then it'll be uploaded to YouTube afterwards. I'm afraid. I think that's the most likely thing. If I stay up till about 3 a.m., UFO Jesus is doing his thing. I don't think I'll be able to stop that late, but I will watch the recording of UFO Jesus, post-disclosure world. Thanks, Rhiannon. Hit the like button. Yeah, thank you. Oh, Phuket, you're welcome. I swear he's on Buckfast. Thank you very much. Planets lining up the 28th. All right, yeah. So I know you've been watching the sky yourself a lot. So yeah. There is apparently an astrological alignment, which again may fit in with this Kali Yuga thing and the Trump inauguration. As I said, this is I know a lot of you don't agree with me, but we're entering a crucial turning point in history in the next 48 hours. We really are, and this is almost everything for what Hapanma was made for. And so I'm really I can't describe to you how excited and how worried I am right now in equal proportions. Pray for the safety of President Trump. Pray for the inauguration. Yeah. Oh, the toxic fog. Let's go into the toxic. Oh, we don't have time to do the toxic fog, but thank you very much. I'm guessing none of your questions and comments are all exhausted. I'm sorry I couldn't answer all your questions and comments earlier, but I was presenting the show. So, with no further ado. Oh, by the way, one more thing. Do you reckon Gary Nolan was that Reddit scientist? I mean, I did a big. I wish we had Gary Nolan on earlier. You know the Reddit scientist, the biologist who was posting about alien anatomy. I covered it in the last UFO disclosure video. I did. By the way, I've done a big breakdown of that. If you want to know more, I've done a big breakdown here on Third Rail Radio. Here we go. Where is it? Third Rail Radio program 195. And I pay alien biology posted on Reddit. I actually read out the entire Reddit post on there. It takes about that whole hour, and I do a big deep dive into what that man said, that man or woman said. I think it was Gary Nolan. I reckon that might well be Gary Nolan. Nighty night, Rhiannon. Let's put all our energy together, Green Tea. Yes, this will one way or another affect us all. Cheers, everyone. Yes, let's put all our energy into good vibes and protection for President-elect Trump and for the inauguration. CCG, are you doing an inauguration live stream? No, but I'm going to record. If all goes well, I will record the whole thing and I will put it up in an Alt Tech exclusive as soon as possible afterwards. I might well also do a live stream on the Tuesday. Yeah. No, nice, David. It'll be an Alt Tech, that one. It won't go on YouTube. I'll put one of my funny, ironic notices if I do that. And of course, some people will take it literally and say, oh, Ben, you're full of Trump derangement syndrome. Oh, get over it and stuff like that. Cheers, CCG. Cheers, Johnny Fettler. Thank you, all of you, to everyone who's in the live chat. Much appreciated to everyone. Thank you for watching the Panwo TV. Hospital Porters, pride and dignity. Stop the New World Order.